Today we're checking out the new SIM woods from TaylorMade. Now we've got hybrid and a few fairway woods in this range, so let's head out on the course here at our Woodley Golf Club and see how we get on with them. So we've got two of the new fairway woods here and we've also got the hybrid. What's kind of your first impressions on how these look?
Well, visually they look nice. For me, I would say the fairway woods probably sit a little bit closed. You know, obviously I hit the ball left if anything, so I don't really want to see it sitting too closed. It's not much, not that much that would put you off, but it is a wee bit of an issue. The hybrid on the other hand, it sits great. If anything, it almost looks like it sits a little bit open. I'm not usually one for hybrids, but this is, visually very inviting to hit, I think. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I really like hitting hybrid. It's probably one of my favourite clubs, and I think that shaping and the style of everything I just really like. I also really like kind of the new paint on the top. I think this chalk on the front kind of alignment section is really nice, kind of compared to the white they had before. I think this chalk is a really great upgrade and it just suits the whole club down to a T.
Yeah, I quite like that as well, to be honest.
We've also got this new grip, which I think feels really nice straight off the mark.
I'll give that one a hit, see how it feels. Pretty nice flight on that.
Yeah, so this is the regular SIM model and we've just got kind of the stock regular shaft in this. And I think one thing to notice is it was really easy to fly it. A lot of the time you can think with a fairway wood you're kind of worried you're not going to get it up off the ground enough.
Yeah.
And that was just really easy to fly and it landed really softly as well. So if you're firing into a green, that's obviously a great positive.
Yeah, so do you want to hit this one? Take it this is more for the kind of players club, that one?
So this is the max club, so it's a bit more forgiving.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a slightly bigger head in this and it's just going to give you kind of a bit more MOI and a bit more forgiveness. I think visually really they're very similar. You're not really giving anything up looks wise. You can definitely see it launched a lot higher though.
Yeah, it was a good strike though, looked like.
Yeah, so I think if you're looking for that extra launch, you definitely want to get it in this model.
Yeah, and TaylorMade have brought back the V-Steel, which you'll probably not remember.
Yeah, so we see this across the range and it's also in the hybrid. So it's just giving you better turf interaction. I think you can see on that we just picked it really nicely off the turf.
Well, give the hybrid a go. And how does that sit for you, the hybrid?
Really nice, I think. Compared to last year's model, kind of I had the M6 and I felt sometimes that felt a bit too short at address, and my bad shot would be to lose it left. So TaylorMade have kind of considered this and made it sit a bit more open. Yeah,
you quite like a hybrid, don't you?
Yeah. I think this might be making a way into my bag.
Another good one.
Yeah, I've just found when I've been hitting this, the strike's been really consistent. I've been able to control the ball flight well. I think that's important in a hybrid because sometimes you can launch it too high and just get it lost in the wind, and you kind of feel like sometimes you're just not going to get the distance on it that you need because it gets stuck up in the air. But with this, like, the ball flight's staying consistent and controlled a lot of the time. Yeah,
it was kind of the same with all the clubs there. The ball, I mean, it was a nice high flight, but it wasn't too spinny and ballooning up into the air, which is obviously not what you want. So
yeah, it's good to see you kind of getting that consistent performance throughout the range, no matter which model you've got.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, let's go and head over to the TaylorMade team and get some more information on the tech for these clubs.
The SIM fairway woods come in 3 different versions: the SIM Max, and the SIM Max D. So let me walk you through each one. The SIM fairway wood actually is a titanium headed fairway wood with a big 80-gram steel sole plate. First, let me talk to you about the new SIM fairway wood. The SIM model actually is a titanium headed fairway wood with a massive steel sole plate, 80 grams of steel in the sole. We designed this fairway wood to be as low CG as possible. So we use these lighter materials like titanium and carbon fiber to push that CG as low as we can. And really what's happening there is we're producing a lot more ball speed by bringing that CG in line with the center face and also allowing for more versatility, especially when you miss it low in the face. We also have the speed pocket on the sole and a brand new V-steel shape on the sole. So V-steel is new across all 3 of the models. V-steel allows for better versatility from different lies and ground conditions, as well as offering you reduced drag on the sole overall. So a lot of improvements in playability from the V-steel technology. The SIM Max fairway woods have a steel head, still with the carbon crown on the top, and these feature also the V-steel technology on the sole, designed for a little bit higher launch, a little bit higher spin than the SIM, to offer maximum versatility and ease of use for the golfer. So this SIM Max, very forgiving, easy to launch, very long fairway wood. The SIM Max D, like the driver, the Max D driver, is designed for the player that wants to avoid the right side of the golf course. Offers a little bit more draw bias, about a 10-yard draw bias versus the standard Max, and also offers a slightly weaker loft. So these come in 1 degree weaker loft increments, again, to aid that launch and help the golfer turn these over a little bit more to produce a slight draw. So 3 different models of SIM fairway woods for the golfer in 2020 from TaylorMade. The SIM Max Rescue builds on a lot of the great technologies that you see in the SIM Max fairway woods, including the new V-steel sole. That V-steel sole is designed for versatility from different lie conditions, as well as reduced turf interaction, turf drag on the sole. Some other cool technologies that you'll see in this club is also the twist face technology. Again, that helps that miss hits from low heel to high toe, reduce that dispersion, make it straighter. And you'll also see a brand new shaping on these clubs. The shape has really been redesigned to allow for more golfers to find a look that they're comfortable and confident with to produce better shots. So overall, in 2020, you're going to see a lot more performance in the SIM Max line of rescues from TaylorMade.
Okay guys, now you might remember this from back in the day, but TaylorMade have brought back the V-steel, and Hannah's going to tell us why.
Yeah, so we've got the V-steel sole, and this runs across the range, so we see it in all the fairway woods and in the hybrid as well. And this is designed to improve turf interaction, so what it's doing is kind of reducing friction, and this is just so you can use it off different variety of lies, so it's more versatile. So even if you're not necessarily on a really good lie in the fairway, you're still going to get a consistency of shot.
Yeah, and obviously I imagine that's pretty good for players. I think notoriously quite a difficult club for players to hit, quite a difficult club for players to get fitted in, so I imagine that versatility will help everyone really.
Yeah, I think it's probably the hardest club to pick to put in your bag. And I think that's also going to help if you're getting this in a variety of lofts. If we see people getting this in a 5-wood or even a 7-wood, they're going to want to hit that from a more variety of lies. And I think that's the same with the hybrid, you know. Generally, it's a club that you'd think, if I'm in the rough and it's not sitting great, I'm going to use my hybrid over an iron. So the fact that it's getting this extra forgiveness from those lies, I think is a real kind of key thing that people will look for.
Yeah, definitely. How did you find them?
I think the key thing I noticed was that have quite high launch across all the range. And one thing that may be the reason for that is they've kind of used this multi-material construction. So what they're trying to do is just get the centre of gravity lower. So that's just going to help you launch it. And I think that's really important because generally people really struggle to get 3-woods and any kind of fairway wood up in the air. You know, often you see club golfers kind of struggling with knobbing it down the fairway. They're not getting enough height on the shot. So if you're using that, it's all right off the tee if you're teeing it up, but if you're trying to fire into greens and get that extra hold, you need that extra launch. And to see that in these clubs was really great. How did you find them?
Yeah, I found them pretty good as well, to be honest. I mean, again, like a 3-wood's a kind of a club I've sort of struggled with like most of my life, to be honest.
Which one would you say you have a preference towards?
Probably prefer this one personally for me. I mean, that one I'd say is more forgiving, you know, kind of miss-hit strikes. The flight wasn't really as impacted, but I preferred the kind of feel of this one and the way it sits at address. For me, the SIM Max, you know, while it performed well, it sits a bit closed. Like I've got a left miss at the best of times anyway, so that would kind of lean me towards this one, to be honest.
This one doesn't have the adjustable hosel, whereas that one does, so you can set the face as you want with that. If you want it a bit more open, you can adjust it. So that's obviously something for people to consider. If they want to be able to adjust how the face sits and also be able to adjust the loft, they need to go into the SIM model, not into one of the Max models.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think across the country, sort of club golfers, you know, they tend to slice the ball, which is why we obviously see clubs that sit a bit closed at address, because, you know, that's what they want to see. They don't want to see a club that's going to point them any further right, whereas You know, I'm kind of the opposite.
I think it's interesting that you touched on kind of the different feel between the two faces, because they've actually got different material on the face as well. So in this straight SIM model, we've got kind of a new material, so it's a Zaytech titanium face, and that's just designed to be a bit stronger and a bit more flexible, whereas in these ones we've got the C300 steel. So that's maybe the reason why you're feeling a difference of kind of feel and sound off the face between the two models.
Yeah, it probably is, and obviously feels a huge part of, you know, buying a club as well, so definitely something to consider too.
So then moving on to the hybrid, I'm kind of a hybrid lover. It's not really something you often have in your bag. You tend to typically have more longer irons. But for me, I really like the shaping of this because it's very kind of rounded and pear-shaped. So this has got kind of the same tech that we're seeing in the rest of the fairway woods, same materials, same face as the SIM Max ones. So there's only a SIM Max model in the hybrid. We've not got kind of the 3 models that we see in the other ranges. But for me, kind of important because a lot of kind of hybrids that have come out recently have been quite iron-like and quite square in shape. That's not necessarily something that suits my eye, so this is just like a club that I would really like, and I would really like to put in my bag. Also, kind of compared to the M6 last year, that was a similar shape, but I also felt that it sat quite shut.
Yeah.
And my miss is also kind of an overdraw to the left, so that kind of put me off a little bit, which was kind of unfortunate because the ball speeds and the numbers I was getting off it were really good, but that left miss was just putting me off a bit. So talking to the guys at TaylorMade, they've actually made this so it's more open this time, and so it's taken that left miss off. So I think this is something that I'd be definitely interested in putting in my bag after a bit more testing.
And as you say about the shaping again, like, you know, I've seen some of those new clubs that, you know, the shape on the face is quite square, quite iron-like, and this is definitely a more appealing shape for me personally. So there you go, folks, that's everything you need to know about the SIM woods from TaylorMade. A lovely throwback to the old V-Steels. Don't forget, if you've liked this video, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment below if you've got any questions, and we'll speak to you again soon.